Hey guys, how's it going? Quentin George here. Last fall, we worked with 10 of our members who were getting ready to run the New York City Marathon. We helped them pick a training plan, assisted with gear and nutrition, and made sure they were staying injury free leading up to the marathon. Andrew MacPhail is one of the 10 inaugural members of the Train with the Runner's World Plus member program. The 2023 New York City Marathon was his 20th marathon, and he started running nearly 22 years after finding sobriety. Let's chat with him. Obviously, you've done interviews, discussions with us in the past, you've done a training program. So I was wondering exactly what running does for you that other hobbies, other athletics doesn't offer as much.
Yeah, absolutely. I shared with the Runners World team last year when I wrote, this sort of essay for this group that they selected. It really is such a foundation for me. I'm proud to be over 23 years sober, and running has played such an important role in my living a clean life. And so it's really when I run, I have this mind-body connection. It's really fantastic. It's when I feel most aligned and when everything's kind of working together, and I feel, alive and energized and happy. I get great joy from running. So it's really an important foundation in my life. I use it to, de-stress, to, go out to celebrate, to get through tough times, to think through projects at work, to think about family relationships, friendship relationships, and just, think about things and kind of get the all the gears turning. That happens most when I'm running. So it's really such a gift to have discovered sort of later in life. I really didn't discover it until the age of 37. So it's something I didn't realize I loved to do. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's always better late than never with that stuff. So with your fitness journey, with running, if you don't mind me going into it, obviously there is an aspect of Runner's World that I'm here to speak about. I was wondering what Runner's World has done for you on your fitness journey.
Sure. Yeah, I really ran alone for like the first 15 years of my running. And then um, about a year and a half ago, I joined a running group in New York, New York Front Runners. Um, we're the largest LGBTQ running community, certainly in the country, maybe the world, I don't know. But I started running with them. And then when I applied for this group the team that Runners World was putting together, I had the opportunity to work not only with the other 9 members of the team, but the folks at Runners World who've been incredibly supportive. If I ever had a question about whether it was stretching or diet, recovery, we could reach out, and the information's been so helpful, and it's always been readily available. I have to say, like, this family, I refer to us now as a family, this group of 10 of us that you all put together, it's been just incredible. We stay in touch. Every time one of us runs a race, we let everyone know. We track each other. We send texts before and after, and supportive messages and how's it going. And then when the person's running the race, we're all texting, updating each other. We talk about, we've really shared so much together. Um, we know about each other's families, pets, folks when they've lost maybe a loved one in the family, like we're all there to support each other. It's just an incredible team, as I say, a family that came out of this Runners World cohort. And I hope you all can continue to do it because I think we get all this information, folks who get the magazine or subscribe online, but to live it and share it and celebrate running with other people, it's really quite a beautiful thing you all do. So as I say, like with future marathons, or not only New York but elsewhere, I think it's a really great it's a great, powerful tool. The information you all share with us, and um, we share it with our running community, as you're hearing from real everyday people. We
Yeah.
had folks in our group, one of them, like a couple of us were used running to sort of get through life struggles. Another person used it to lose over 100 pounds of weight, all sorts of challenges. And so to like have people talk about their real life experience and how running helps them, it's so it's so great for Runner's World to highlight that and to share it because there's like an everyday schmo in wherever Peoria or Kalamazoo who has maybe not the resources that people in larger cities do, but to hear about all this stuff and how it works with other people, I think will only inspire folks to run and run with other people. And my geographical references were not insulting. I happen to come from a small town in middle America, so that was actually meant to be complimentary, not not degrading in any way.
Oh, I'm sure it did not come off that way whatsoever. I think what's so nice is, and like obviously I've been talking to other people in your group that you ran with, and
Yeah,
it is so endearing to me that almost every single one of you has brought up, oh my God, it's the relationship I made with people. And like, don't get me wrong, like it's not something Runner's World didn't think would happen. But
right,
obviously the
right,
priority was like, we're training you, we're getting you fit. And the fact that what spawned from that is just, oh my God, here are these people that I now am deeply connected with. I think it's
right.
such a beautiful outcome of it that no one really expected to come outside
Yeah,
of that. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
exactly to what you said, just the accessibility to running and how so many people have so many different reasons to do it, but you are all unified under the banner of running together is just
Right.
a really nice moment of camaraderie that I feel like most people can't really find in their adulthood as easily anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It becomes a bit more difficult to find, your groups. I think the older we get, or maybe people become less likely to reach out and join a group. But yeah, that's spot on. Yeah.
mhm.
It was just such a good, it's been a great gift. Yeah.
So when you're running, obviously there's people who go in with their running, they're thinking that I'm going out there and I'm going to try to get my PR. I want the best time imaginable for myself. There are people who are doing it to stay fit, people are who are doing it for fun. Of those under that very vague umbrella, I was wondering like what usually your objective is while you're running.
Sure. Yeah, it shifted a little bit. I'm proud to share this past March, I completed my sixth of the six world majors. So I got that fabulous, six-star finisher medal and, went around the world running and met wonderful people. So I think up until that point, I had, this huge goal driving me, and that had me also focusing more on speed and overall, fitness. And so having achieved that goal, it's been really interesting how my perspective has shifted a bit. I still plan to run marathons. I'm doing New York this fall. I'm also planning to do Sydney, which will be the seventh of the world majors. So, but I'm running now more focused on like that day and that run. I'm not pushing myself for time as strictly. I'm simply running for the like the mind candy and the health benefits. And I've also been incorporating now with some light weight training to I'm pairing the two together, and it's been really great. It's been my running. It's always been enjoyable. Like I said, that's where I find my alignment, but not having sort of the pressure of time or that huge overarching goal of the world majors ahead of me. I'm really just kind of enjoying the chill, calm aspect of running. And I'm running a little slower now, which feels great. Like
Mhm.
my body actually feels, it feels a bit better, especially in this heat. So I don't, not like pushing for time. So really, that's my focus now to keep running and to maintain my mileage without as much added pressure of time.
I think that's a good approach too, especially because when you're constantly pushing for a best time, you really do risk getting hurt, which is
Right,
the last thing anyone wants. Um,
right.
so I think it's nice that you're kind of finding your enjoyment while also kind of taking a step back in intensity. I think that's a hard obstacle for people to cross.
It is. Yeah, yeah.
With the race, with the New York City Marathon running, how did you feel before and after the race?
I really felt great because one, I was training with the team and having the help of the folks, the staff. And just 3 weeks before I ran the Chicago Marathon and I achieved a personal record there. So I went into New York feeling really great. I was well trained. I just hit this PR. And I had the team, that we're all working together. So going into the race, I felt really good. I felt well prepared and strong.
Do you feel like there's any nuggets of wisdom training with Runner's World that have stuck with you at all?
Definitely. Yeah, there were a lot of I had a what I erroneously thought was a back injury, which was just actually I needed to have an adjustment, a few adjustments with a chiropractor, but I thought that it was like sciatica or something. And so I immediately reached out um, the to Runner's World and talk through stuff. They sent me a bunch of exercises, articles, checked in, how are you doing? I let them know it was something that was worked out through chiropractic massage, and so that was great. That I think that's the piece that was really like most helpful because I was worried. It was right before going to Chicago, and it's like, oh man, should I run? Shouldn't I run? But that was really helpful. Then also, there were a lot of like simple strength training exercises that were shared that really helped, which I hadn't done a whole lot of before. So I know that the work with Runner's World really helped me. The stretching and the weight training really has stuck with me. As I mentioned, I've maintained that. I've incorporated that in now. In tandem with the running. It's amazing how what a difference that has made. And it's nothing crazy like lifting, massive amounts of weight. It's a lot of it's body weight, in dumbbells basically. But the um, the exercises, particularly strengthening the core, have really, really helped a great deal. So that's one thing that stuck with me. And then the other thing is, to go through this process with the team, we all had setbacks like we're all going to do as human beings, right? And so that's been great to remind myself, like, stuff's going to happen. And the advice we received from the Runner World team, always got us through individually, therefore collectively, because we were so much in touch with the process.
I feel like running in solitary, don't get me wrong, can be nice, can be very meditative, but
Yeah,
it can feel alone. So it is nice also if something goes wrong or if you need assistance with someone, knowing you have that counsel and that support system you can reach out to. Like
right,
I can't
right.
reiterate enough. Like I just recently learned how in contact all of you still are after the race. That's extremely heartwarming. I think that's so lovely. I think finding relationships like that in adulthood that happen naturally, aren't this like artificial forced dynamic, are so few
Right,
and far between. So it's so nice that you
right.
guys all gathered that together.
Yeah, and especially since we're kind of everyday folks, like
Mhm.
if you took a snapshot out of us, there may be a couple in there, but we don't look like you're really, your average like Olympic runner or something, it's like there's all kind of body shapes and sizes and age range. And so yeah, that I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of this group is that diversity of not only our physical fitness but our life experience. It's really been great.
Would you recommend training with Runner's World to anyone else out there?
Something that might be beneficial to like future teams is to share that information with other folks who might consider joining or applying for a team, because again it's kind of like that, the like information from real people that I think will resonate most with real people. It's so inspiring to read features on the fastest, greatest, strongest runners, but like this kind of information I think is so helpful, and I think it'd be great for subscribers to be able to read about and see and hear. But yeah, I definitely would. I definitely would. I think I'm actually going to, now that I've run the six world, I'm going to finally go for a sub 3 hour marathon. I ran a 3:06 in Chicago, so I think I can shave off six. It's a lot of time, but we'll see. But that's now a goal for me. It never was before. So I was already thinking about like it'd be great to have that type of support, like I did with Runner World to train. So I most definitely would. Yeah, I think I mean, as I said before, like the benefits have been so amazing. So it's nice to also like follow people who have a goal,
Mhm.
it's inspiring to other people and to, you know, for your average person to hear about that and to read about it. So yeah, I'm sure you'll do more. I hope you'll do more here.
When you were talking about seeing like the everyday runners and learning from them, don't get me wrong, like it's great to see the professionals who are like peak humanity running like crazy. Like, here's what you do to learn. But when it's coming from someone like that, it's feasible, but it still seems unattainable. But when it's coming
Right.
from someone who has gone through it, who has been through
Exactly.
similar trials and tribulations, it feels a lot more invigorating because it feels more like, oh my God, they could do it. I could do it. Like, they're just like me. That's perfect. As lovely as your group is, I'm hoping it's not an anomaly and more friendships, more bonds will spark from these people running together.
Yeah.
There's one thing
Yeah.
I learned: runners love runners. You guys are there to support each other through everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true.
Would you have any parting advice for people thinking of running a marathon?
Yes, it's important to come up with a plan, to map out a plan, and to stick with it. And also, there are going to be days where people just won't get out. You're sick, or it's like it's a blizzard out there, or like whatever. And so to be gentle on oneself, obviously you want to follow a plan as strictly as possible, and also to give yourself, a little leeway to be human, and to most importantly, I think is to surround yourself with people who are truly supportive, and who will. Not only support you, but hold you accountable and, love you enough to, encourage you to keep going when we do have these setbacks. So I think a solid training plan is most important. And then to have really supportive, loving folks around you as you go through the journey, because it's a big deal. This fall will be my 22nd marathon. And everyone is like, it's a big deal. Like it's not like, I can do that. I've done it before. I mean, I take it really seriously, and I personally do a 16-week training plan and adhere to it. Um,
If you don't mind me interjecting,
yeah,
you
yeah.
bringing up the 22nd marathon, do you still get butterflies when you're getting
I
ready?
do, I do. And it's like I still get better butterflies. I'll be like, this like thought, like, oh my God, like what if I don't finish? And which is, you think it's crazy, but like, like this last fall in November was like really tough. It was a little bit warmer, and it's a very tough course. And there were a couple moments where I was like, oh man, what if I don't finish? And like, it's ridiculous. I knew I was going to finish, but yeah, you still kind of have these little, momentary doubts and fears and anxieties. And yeah, that's still there. And in a way, it's kind of comforting. I know that might sound silly, but it's just a nice reminder. It's like, yeah, this is a really big deal. Like 26.2 miles is like a really big deal. I don't care who you are and how many you run. Like it's it's a lot. So I think having those butterflies and a little bit of nervousness helps me. As I get near the marathon, I even like a week or two before, I get nervous and think through everything that I need to pack ahead of time and this and that. It's yeah, I wouldn't really call that part as much anxiety as more excitement and planning, but
I would,
yeah, I
it
take it
seems like,
seriously. Yeah.
yeah, it seems like passion manifests. Like the fact that you still get so excited for it, the butterflies spawning from that, I just think is a really nice testament to how much you care about what you're doing. And like you said,
Yeah.
even though you've done it 22 times, it does not matter if it's like 50 times, 100 times. Running
Right.
26 miles consecutively is astounding. From your first marathon to now your 22nd marathon, do you still feel like you run them pretty similarly, or have you felt a massive change in your approach?
Well, I really have noticed a change because, through those years, I ran my first marathon, I think at the age of 38. I'm 53 now. Um, that's where you're supposed to say, oh, no, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
I did not want to
I'm
expect,
kidding.
I genuinely would not have thought that. I did not know running could keep someone looking so young.
But so through, through those years, whatever it is, 16, 17 years, whatever, I have gotten a lot stronger naturally through, educating myself on all sorts of stuff from diet to weight training to running, sleep, all incorporating all this stuff. Um, so I feel like I'm constantly improving. And then with the world majors, each one of those six that I ran, every one was a like PR, 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 PR. I went from like a 322 to 319 to 317 to 314 to 306, like boom, 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 boom. In Tokyo, I didn't run a PR. I just was like, I'm running this. Like it was amazing. I did not run a personal record there. But man, was that,
You were
like you
probably too
said,
busy taking in the sights.
oh my God, and the people and the culture, and it was such a beautiful experience. I went like 5 days ahead of time to adjust to the time change and explore, and it was just such a beautiful experience. So when it was marathon day, I mean, I did very well. I ran a great time, but uh, but I wasn't focused on a personal record because I wanted to enjoy every single moment, which I did. It was just so celebratory. Yeah.
I think that's a really good approach to it. It seems like you have a really good state of mind when it comes to what you want to prioritize for each race.
From the article that you ran on me and talked about my journey with sobriety and running, I've had so many people reach out to me, not through you guys, but certainly through the article on social media. And I've gotten emails from people who thanked me for sharing my story and inspiring them to focus on their own recovery. So I want to thank you guys for that, but try not to get too emotional. It's really, really amazing what you all did by sharing my story, and then to have people come to me. Um, this work, my work through this is continuing as a result also of that little piece you guys ran. I had like a national sober athletes group reach out to me just 2 weeks ago and said, "Hey, we heard about your story in running the majors. We know you're sober. We read about your journey. I've been invited to be on a national panel this September, one of three speakers. One of them is a guy named Cal McCoy, who shared his story about overcoming several overdoses. So I just want to thank you guys like that. To put the team together is one thing, but to share my story, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and to thank me and ask for advice and help. So, you're doing a really, really good service to a lot of people. So, kudos and thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got chills listening to that. I got a little that I listen, I appreciate you thanking us. You're serving as such a beautiful example for these people, and the stuff you're doing is astounding. So I hope that you also have that deeply ingrained like cherishment of yourself for the service you're giving to other people.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great gift. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for listening. For more info on Andrew MacPhail's story, click the link in the show notes below. We also have a few exciting opportunities coming up to train with Runner's World. So if you want to get a bib to one of the hottest races of the year, make sure that you are a Runner's World Plus member. We have an exciting offer for new subscribers, which you can access at the link in the show notes. So get moving.